My name is Vernon J. Davis Jr. and the reason why I call myself that full name is because I'm an author poet of 2 poetry books, Love is a Beautiful Black Woman and The Emosawa Woman. Emosawa is awesome spelled backwards. But the reason why I go by the full name is so everyone would know who I am specifically, as opposed to the other Vernon Davis that everyone seems to know who plays for the 49ers. So I go by Vernon J. Davis Jr. J is for Joseph. I can also be found now as Vernon Davis Jr. But I normally go by my full name, Vernon J. Davis Jr. I started writing poetry, gosh, back in the mid-70s. And when I did that, it was a way to get next to ladies, because I figured if I could do that well, then I could always have a girlfriend, per se. But that's how it initially started out. But I didn't want to write about outer beauty, per se. I wanted to write about inner beauty as well as outer beauty. More so inner. Spiritual intimacy, mental intimacy, and emotional intimacy. So, in a sense, or the short of it all, is that my claim to fame, or my foundation in all the writings that I intend on doing, by the grace of God, is poetic. It's poetry. I used to work for a newspaper, but they kind of let me go. I had an article because my writing was too poetic. With newspapers, you have those, what is it, the how, why, I don't know, I should know. When you write an article, the how, what, why, the 6 questions, I guess, in journalism. And English was my major, journalism wasn't, but everything I wrote, I wanted to have some type of poetic style to it. So that was short-lived, my little newspaper career. Besides that, I'm basically nowadays, and I've been writing for over 30 some odd years, is doing what God's will is. I talk about God a lot, or I try to live by God's will a lot more than what I want. I have a little saying now, PGF, put God first. You know, so basically in a nutshell, that's where I'm at today. I truly believe, I'm glad what I'm going through now with what I'm trying to do with my writings. If I had this notoriety or the people I know that's helping me to get my expressions out, I probably would have messed it up. If this happened to me when I was 20s, I probably would have messed it up just like some of these so-called rappers. Even in my 30s, and I believe in my 40s, I probably would have messed it up. You know, I probably would have went out and just did all kind of crazy things, thinking I was like the greatest there was or is, because it can be very, the attention you get can be very flattering, and it can make your ego just grow way beyond, I know for me, way beyond than is necessary. I came to Tony's house by the grace of God November the 5th, which was a Friday. November 1st was the last time I drank. I am in recovery. When I drink, I'm like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. My first book, I had 7 years at one time when I had stopped drinking, and my first book came out as a result of the fact that I had stopped drinking and was doing what was necessary to do. And I believe that, by the grace of God. I believe when I was younger, what I'm going through now would have happened then, but I wanted to keep on drinking and partying just like anyone else. I'm an extremist. You know, when I drink, I cannot stop. You know, I just felt like I needed it. I was supposed to be here in Tony's house the last week of September of 2010. But my mind told me, well, I can drink one last beer. And I'm clear on this fact, I cannot drink one. You know, I used to look at my mom, and she would have a bottle of wine. I would see her one year, and the following year, the same bottle would still be there. See, I'm the type of person that I have to drink it all at once at that same time. So I didn't, I disappeared for a month. I was supposed to meet our house manager, and I didn't. Saw him a month later. Okay, and I came back, but this time I knew I was going to do this, or really God, I felt the presence of God, and this is what I needed to do. And I'm glad, and this is the best. I've been in some other homes in the past 10 years, I would say, because to help. But this is the best I've ever been, the best I've ever been. Some of the houses I was in before were nicer or newer, but they were overcrowded per se. It was mainly, and it wasn't really a process to use to help people get back on their feet at some of these other houses. It was about collecting money and putting in as many people in a room as possible. So when I came here, and I told Monique Ellis, who runs Tony's house, that this was the best house I've ever been in. I feel really comfortable here, and it's easy for me to be really serious about what I'm doing. If I'm here, I have to make sure I'm paying my portion to survive here and doing my part while I'm here, because it's about getting back on your feet. It's not about staying here for, you know, indefinitely. I mean, I know I could probably stay as long as I need to, but I also know it's about getting back on my feet.